Welcome to the corridor study video for US 34. Thank you for viewing this video and providing your input for future development of the corridor. This corridor study of US 34 begins at the west city limits of Ottumwa and continues west to the Monroe County line, ending at the intersection of US 34 and Monroe-Wapello Road. The corridor is approximately 9 miles in length. This corridor study focuses on only the rural portions of this corridor. Areas within the city of Ottumwa are not included in this study. The focus of this corridor study is to gather input from those that use the corridor. The public's input and thoughts are very useful and will help shape our corridor study and eventual recommendations. We will explain what and why this corridor is being studied, as well as what improvements may be considered in the corridor in the future. At this time, the Iowa DOT does not have dedicated improvement money programmed or set aside to immediately implement any improvements recommended in this study in the near term. Rather, this vision study will result in the development of a project roadmap that will help assist the Iowa DOT plan for future needs and balance competing construction projects across the statewide transportation system to help make informed recommendations on how and when projects become available. This corridor study is composed of 3 phases. The first phase focuses on data gathering and corridor needs. The second phase focuses on what future needs have been identified and how those needs may be addressed. The third phase analyzes possible improvements that are then refined to recommended improvements for consideration. The study will conclude with a vision document that will outline the preferred improvements for consideration and will be the project roadmap used to help identify projects and the condition that the existing corridor is in. The study team is currently wrapping up Step 1 efforts and are transitioning into Step 2 activities. Early agency and stakeholder outreach was a key component in Step 1 activity. This meeting included officials representing the City of Ottumwa, local law enforcement and first responders, the Iowa State Patrol, the state of Iowa, and U.S. congressional representatives. The purpose of the early agency and stakeholder coordination meeting was to collect initial thoughts related to the US 34 corridor about what is working well within the corridor and areas that may need improvement. Stakeholders were also asked to comment on what they saw as future transportation needs in the corridor and surrounding region. This early meeting helped refine what to consider going forward. As part of this corridor study, a range of possible improvement alternatives will be developed and studied. These improvement studies will focus on implementation of Super 2 highway features, which we will explain in more detail shortly. Intersection or safety improvements at specific locations may also be considered depending on the results of our existing conditions evaluation and stakeholder and public input. US 34 has been identified as one of the corridors within the state that would likely benefit from Super 2 improvements. Super 2 projects are an effort from the Iowa DOT to right-size our primary highway system based on budgetary constraints and maximize system efficiency statewide. Super 2 highways provide improved safety and mobility on 2-lane roadways by providing passing opportunities for faster moving vehicles and reduces the potential for a head-on crash with oncoming traffic. Passing opportunities are created by providing passing lanes at regular intervals. The length of a passing lane is determined upon traffic volumes on the route and the features of a particular location along the corridor. This includes geometric features, such as horizontal and vertical curves, sight distances, such as stopping and passing, and existing conditions. Generally, the passing lanes will alternate from one direction of travel to the other. The transitions at the beginning and end of the passing lane will allow sufficient room for the diverging and merging traffic. Placement of the passing lanes in each direction of travel will attempt to maintain a consistent spacing between adjacent passing lanes, providing drivers an expectation and understanding of upcoming passing opportunities. Wider paved shoulders also present an opportunity for larger vehicles, such as ag and commercial vehicles, to allow passing movements within the travel lanes for faster moving motorists. When developing passing lane alternative layouts for the corridor, the study will consider where existing climbing lanes may be utilized. Existing climbing lane extensions are preferred if no constraints are identified in the corridor. The number of access points and location of intersections within the corridor, especially those that are paved with larger traffic volumes, will be considered, as well as physical and environmental constraints such as railroads, bridges, waterways, environmental, historical, and undesirable terrain. Additional other factors may be considered as well. Additional improvements may also include paved shoulder improvements where warranted and feasible. As we noted earlier in this presentation, we want to hear from you. What are your opinions of the existing US 34 corridor? What future needs do you anticipate? What concerns do you have? Any and all input is welcome and very helpful to our study process. There are multiple ways you can comment. You can enter your comments directly via this website, or if you would like a personal response to your input or concerns, please indicate that to the Iowa DOT via the website or email, and someone will be in touch. You can also reach out to Trevor Wolf with the Iowa DOT Location and Environment Bureau at the contact information shown here. All input received will be considered and will help to shape the overall US 34 corridor study and ultimately the scope and range of recommended improvements for future project development and planning. There will be more opportunities to hear about this study and when improvements are being considered. At this time, we anticipate a second virtual meeting, much like this one, will be available for future comment prior to the end of 2023. Thank you again for viewing and participating in this corridor study. We look forward to receiving your comments and input. Again, if you have any questions, you can ask them directly via this website, or if you would like a personal response to your input, please indicate that to the Iowa DOT via the website or email, and someone will be in touch. You can also reach out to Trevor Wolf with the Iowa DOT Location and Environment Bureau.